Hey guys, Phoebe here from Little Grey Box. Are you planning a trip to Cambodia? If you are planning your first ever trip to Cambodia, there are a few things that I think you really need to know before you go. Don't buy from local children or give them money or food. It may sound harsh, but hear me out. With their beautiful smiling faces looking up at you, it can be really hard to resist buying trinkets or souvenirs from local kids who will run up to you outside of temples and the like. When they get food or money from tourists, it devalues an education, and the kids, their parents, or the people they work for might see it as more viable for them to keep working over tourists than go to school. The Cambodian government openly agrees, and they would encourage travelers who want to do good to donate to charity organizations and local schools instead. You'll need a mix of currencies. It's time to get real. No, I'm not just being cool and hip like one of the kids. Real is the Cambodian currency. That said, you're really going to need US dollars more than real. For anything that costs more than $1, you'll be paying in US dollars. For anything that you get in change below that, you'll get it back in real. When you are getting money back, check it thoroughly, as counterfeiting is alive and well in Cambodia. They're funny about bills though. No, if your name's not Bill, you're not going to get in trouble. Dad joke. But if you do get a note with a rip or tear in it, you may find that they don't accept it. We had some real trouble getting local vendors to take a note that had the slightest tear or the slightest imperfection in it. They just wouldn't take it off us. So when you are getting money back, be confident, give it back and say that you want a clean, crisp bill. A little Khmer goes a long way. Khmer is the name of the Cambodian language, and if you pick up a few local words, it's going to go a long way to being a good human and a good traveler. Here are a few to get you started. Hello. Suiste. Sounds like sewer snake. Thank you. Orkun. Sounds like all good. Sorry. Somdu. Sounds like soz dude. Don't ride the elephants. The reality is, the way that an elephant is broken in to be able to be ridden by tourists is really harsh. It's a process called crushing. It really is worth researching it so that you can understand it properly for yourself. A quick Google search for elephant crushing or having a look on YouTube will show you a few videos and a few articles that I think will encourage you not to do it. I didn't know, now I do, and I'm really glad I do. You can't drink the tap water. While we're all trying to cut down on single-use plastics, unfortunately in Cambodia, you can't take a water bottle and then refill it from your hotel tap. What you can do though is stock up on a few really big bottles. That way you're not using single small bottles and you're still drinking safe, clean water. Tuk-tuk is the way to get around. When you're in places like Phomn Penh and Siem Reap, honestly the best way to get around is by hailing yourself a tuk-tuk. And if you're staying at a hotel, you will find tuk-tuks lined up outside ready to take you where you want to go. A 5-minute ride should cost around $1 and you need to negotiate before you get in the tuk-tuk, or when you get out, you're gonna have a problem. Pro tip, always have the business card of the hotel you're staying at with you so you can show it to the driver so he knows exactly where you're going and the address. Beware the food scam. If you're in places like Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, you may be approached by a beautiful girl on the streets of Cambodia telling you that she is really, really hungry and she doesn't want your money. All she wants is a meal, and could you just take her to a local restaurant and give her something to eat? Seems reasonable, right? No, it is not reasonable. It's a trap. Wake up to yourselves, internet. What will really happen is you will sit down, you will order food for yourself and her, and then at the end of the meal, you will be hit with a huge bill. Being a tourist and in a tough situation, you are going to have no choice but to pay it. To avoid falling victim to this scam, be aware of it, and when the young girl approaches you, simply say no and walk away. Beware the baby milk scam. There is another scam, and it has a similar tone. A young woman with a baby in her arms will ask you if you can please help her out by buying some formula for her tiny little baby. It's so hard to say no, but you have to. If you don't, you'll be taken to a suspiciously close mini-mart where you will spend $20 to $30 on a tin of baby formula. After you leave, the young girl will return the baby formula to the store, and she and the store owner will split the profits of your US dollars. It's important to say no, not just so that you aren't the victim, but so it puts an end to scams like this and young women and children being exploited for the profit of organized crime. To enter Cambodia, you are going to need a visa. You can do that before you go to make things a little bit easier, or if you're on the fly, just sort it out when you arrive. If you do plan to get your visa on arrival, make sure you have a spare passport photo or at least a few with you. And you should check the visa requirements because some ASEAN countries don't require one at all. Prepare for some questionable toilets. Oh, the things I have seen and the toilets I have hovered over. Cambodia is no exception. Always have pocket tissues with you, some wet wipes and some hand sanitizer just in case. English is widely spoken. Hey, if you don't speak Khmer, if your Cambodian language skills aren't quite up to scratch, no need to panic. You will have no trouble ordering at restaurants, hailing a tuk-tuk and sorting out your accommodation at hotels. You need to be mindful around monks. In Cambodian culture, monks are not only revered, they are very well respected, and it's important to be a good traveller and a good human and observe these cultural respects yourself. Women in particular need to be mindful. You shouldn't ever touch them or sit too close to them. And it's always important to ask if you can take a photo before you do. You may find that they say no, but you may find they say yes. Bag snatching in Phnom Penh is a real thing. Yes, I took a tuk-tuk ride and my tuk-tuk driver was terrified for my safety. He made me strap my backpack to my body and seal me inside the tuk-tuk with all the flaps down so nobody could see me. So when you are out and about, whether it's on foot or in a tuk-tuk, please make sure your bag is secured to your body with those fidgety little nerdy straps that the backpack companies give you. If you don't have a bag that can be secured to your body and sealed shut, you need to get a new one before you go. You may need sunglasses and a face mask. Why, you ask? I'm gonna tell you why, internet. When you're whizzing around on tuk-tuks and on the back of scooters and all of that kind of open air transport that they have in Cambodia, there's a lot of dust on the roads and that can fly up and get right into your eyes, and the pollution is quite real, especially in Siem Reap and Phnom Penh. It's cheap and easy to get your hands on a SIM card. Because I'm always on social media for my work, I had to get a SIM card when I arrived and I was a little concerned about how much it would cost in Cambodia. Turns out it's dirt cheap. I did have to hand over my passport to get it, so if you are a little bit worried about identity theft, be sure to keep a close eye on the person working there and maybe just give them your husband's instead of yours, or your friends, whatever. You're going to need a few temple outfits. When you're visiting places like Angkor Wat, the Grand Palace, and other sites where temple kind of vibes are involved, you're going to need specific temple outfits. This means your shoulders need to be covered, your knees need to be covered, no midriffs, no deep plunging necklines. And you guys, a scarf isn't going to cut it. So your best bet is to pack 2 temple outfits. Some t-shirts or shirts that cover your shoulders and your waist. Skirts that go below the knees will cut it. If you visit Siem Reap, you're going to need a temple pass. If you're thinking, I might just risk it and I don't really need one, you would be wrong, because at each temple they have people standing there who check your pass to make sure you not only have it, but to make sure it's valid. The internet ain't great. Oh, this was a hard one for me because I live for the internet and I run my business on the internet. Everywhere I went, regardless of the quality of the hotel or the cafe, the internet just wasn't that great, unfortunately. So if you are a freelancer or you do plan on working online, keep this in mind because you will be slowed down a little bit. You should pack an umbrella. It rains spontaneously when you least expect it, and you may just end up buying an umbrella for a very cute kid on the side of the road. No, no, no. Avoid that by packing a little pocket umbrella with you in your day bag every day you go out. It is incredibly hot and humid in Cambodia, and I come from a really hot place on earth. Brisbane. There were times when I would leave a place and I would be soaked through my t-shirt, so you might want to put 1 or 2 extra t-shirts in your bag if that kind of thing is going to bother you. You might also want to get up and do most of your exploring either early in the morning or late in the afternoon, so you avoid those hottest parts of the day. Drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and wear sweat wicking if it so suits you. The mosquitoes are very hungry. The mosquitoes in Cambodia are no joke, and if you are worried about any mosquito-borne illnesses, be sure to see a doctor before you go, but also pack some mosquito repellent in your bag and be sure to put it on every day. They really do eat bugs and spiders. There's a good chance you've seen fried tarantulas and bugs and spiders of all shapes and sizes for sale at markets, and you're probably thinking, hey, that's just for tourists. Yes, it is for tourists, but they do actually really eat them. I was shocked to learn that. So if you do see a local munging down a tarantula, don't be terrified, join in. Prepare to fall in love with the people of Cambodia. It's just an incredibly special place and one that's close to my heart. My little sister is Cambodian and I love Cambodian people. They are so warm and genuine. They have the most incredible smiles and kind eyes. They have a great sense of humor and they are fantastic to talk to. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and say hello in the comments below. Have a great time in Cambodia and I will see you next time. Love ya!